One of my most hated takes in the Dead by Daylight community is that we need to start shifting every killer toward being a chase killer because, quote, the chase is the most fun part of the game. And, not only do I think that this is just a very narrow minded view of how the game works, but I also believe that this is done in an attempt to try to force the game to be fun for these people specifically. And I don't like that idea. In Dead by Daylight, there are 5 different categories of killers. You have anti-loop killers, which are killers like Xenomorph, Dredge, Skull Merchant, Knight. You have chase killers, which are killers like Billy, Chucky, Blight, Nurse. Basically, killers that can catch up to the survivors very fast are killers who are chase killers. Then you have range killers like Huntress, Slinger, Trickster, Artist, Plague when she's got red puke, the Unknown's coming out. You have control killers who are killers who have a strategy to the map. So that is your trap-based killers like Freddy, Singularity, Hag, Trapper. And then finally, you have stealth killers, which are your Ghostface, Wraith, Myers, etc. And one of the things that I really like is that Dead by Daylight, or the behavior, is really good at combining and overlapping killers from these 5 categories to create a diverse cast and range of killers with different sets of abilities that can allow you to play the game in different ways depending on how you pick. There are also subcategories of killers, and I don't want to get into how many there are, but the one we're focusing on today is what I like to call the alternate lethality subcategory. These are killers who have a different way to win the game than hooking a survivor and letting them die on the third hook state. There's currently 4 killers who do this. That is Pig, Myers, Pyramid Head, and Sadako. Now, I personally love the concept of alternate lethality killers. I like the idea that not every killer has to rely on hook states to win the game. Unfortunately, for the vast majority of the community, they do not. Now, the one killer that I'm not going to really address in the alternate lethality category is Pyramid Head. I think most people find Pyramid Head to be fair with his alternate lethality because he still has to put you through all 3 of the hook states, right? Regardless of what state the game is in and all of that, he, unlike the other 3, cannot kill you from 0 hooks. You have to have 2 hook states, and then your third one can be his rites of punishment mini-mori thing that he has. But a lot of people do not like Pig, Myers, and Sadako for their alternate lethality because they don't believe that being able to kill you at 0 hook states, no matter how long it takes the killers to get to that point or how balanced the alternate lethality may be, they don't like it. For example, people don't like Pig because theoretically the pig can throw the entire game, put a head trap on you, and then chase you around for the entire game crouched for 2 minutes to stop you from searching boxes and kill you. Theoretically, she could do that, and that doesn't feel good to people. People don't like Myers because, sorry, I really hate this argument, and I'll explain why in a moment. But people don't like Myers' tombstone because they don't like how their teammates are always feeding Myers the stalk, and they get punished for their teammates' fuck-ups. The reason I don't like this argument is because everybody assumes way too much that they just aren't feeding Myers a stalk. Like, I had to main Myers for like 2 weeks straight when I did his Man in the Bushes achievement. And the number of times people in the in-game chat would complain that their teammates fed Myers stalk when I drained them of stalk completely was insane. People are just like convinced that they don't feed the Myers stalk like ever. But that is the main argument that people have. Finally, Sadako. I feel so bad for behavior because I feel like they wrote themselves in a corner with this character because when they had the condemn that was too weak, people were pissed off because Sadako was too weak because her condemn was basically useless. Then they made the condemn too strong to where people were dying without any hook states. Then they nerfed it again, and now Sadako mains are still pissed, but now other people are pissed because in order to get the condemn, the Sadako has to slug you a shitload, and it's just really, really boring. And I'm gonna do a full dedicated video to Sadako in the future. I'm gonna do a full dedicated video to every one of these killers in the future. But for today, I thought it would be fun for us to explore some suggestions, some alternatives to get rid of the alternative lethality and instead make it to where we can buff some of these abilities, some of these pieces of the kit in order to make the killer feel more unique. Because right now, like the PTB change for the pig is buffing her chase potential, which is cool, but it's nerfing the thing that makes her interesting and unique, which is the reverse bear traps. So here are some general suggestions. Now, I want to make this clear. These are just suggestions to get our foot in the doorway of fixing the problem. These are not like, I think these should come to the game right now. These are things that I feel like we can talk about balancing or even open up new ideas to changing the way these things work. So for Pig, I figured the reverse head traps would add a debuff to gen repair time, right? So you can't search for a key at first. When you get the head trap on, you have to wait for a gen is completed. Once the gen is completed, the bear trap activates, and now you have a penalty to repairing gens. So maybe we could do like, it has to be something meaningful, right? But it can't be something so bad that if every single person had a bear trap, it would completely slow the game to a crawl. I was thinking something like 15%, but I don't know how much that would matter. Again, this is, like I said, it's a suggestion to open the door. The head traps giving debuffs over being able to kill you, I think is a great idea. And I still think they should kill you if you try to leave the trial with them activated, because that's just a cool feature that should never go away. But in my opinion, if you want to get rid of the alternate lethality within the trial, then you should add an incentive for them to get the head trap off. And that incentive is normally just gen time. Moving on to Myers, the way that I would fix his tombstone add-ons is to make it to where someone can only be moried if you fully drain them of stock. So if you start draining them and they turn that bright red and you can no longer get stock from them, then they can be moried. People may still be like, but you can still be moried at 0 hooks. That's not fair. Yes, but that fixes the common complaint of people pretending like they never fed stock to Myers. And they get tombstone. Now, if you get tombstoned, you know it was your fuck up and not the fuck up of your entire team. And finally, with Sadako, I go back to the debuff idea. So again, this is just a suggestion, and you can find the flaws in it. We can change numbers. We can even change what the debuff is, but this is just an opening of the door. With Sadako, what if you were hindered 1% per stack? And then when you get fully condemned, you are permanently 7% hindered. It's a possibility. Now, I could see people saying, well, then you might want to change Sadako to like a 110 killer or something like that to compensate. I'm not fully mad at that idea, but I think it would give Sadako something a little bit more tangible as an M1 killer if she was able to slow the survivor's speed down progressively. The other thing I like about the Pig and Sadako suggestions is that then you could go into the add-ons and you can start introducing add-ons that change the debuffs. Kind of like how Freddy has the add-ons that change his power. I'm going to do a video on this down the road, but I really, really wish that they would reevaluate how they do add-ons and stop just being like numbers and mangled. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Just let me know down in the comments what you think. Let me know what some of your ideas for different debuffs you could put on these killers are. Do you like alternate lethalities? Do you not? I don't make these videos just to spout my opinions at you. I make these videos so that we could have an open conversation. That's my favorite part of doing this. So please let me know down below. And as always, a great special thank you to our channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today and get great perks like seeing videos early and merch, discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next one.